457 plans are okay. In this episode, I'm going to address the question, what is better than a 457 plan? Get ready, you're going to be blown away how you can have the benefits of a 457 and a whole lot more without all the strings attached. So my name's Doug Andrew, and I've been a financial strategist and a retirement planning specialist for more than 47 years. And so I've helped many people plan for a comfortable retirement by optimizing their assets, minimizing taxes, and empowering what I call their authentic wealth. So I noticed that most Americans, I think, are duped into putting money for their future retirement into traditional accounts like IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457s, and the like. Now, these are all government-sponsored type of savings plans, and I've never liked Uncle Sam being my partner because Uncle Sam has certain rules and they want their piece of it. They want to tax that. So let's just go through a simple explanation of 457s, and then I want to share with you what I think is far better, because you can have all the benefits of a 457 and a whole bunch more without all the strings attached that I'm going to talk about next. So a 457 is technically not a qualified plan. It's called a non-qualified plan, but it's still regulated under the government rules that are assessed there, and 457 plans are like a 401k, but it's usually offered to certain public servants. Most of them are government 457s. There are some non-government 457s, but if you are a firefighter, a police officer, or a school teacher, or maybe you are working for a hospital that's nonprofit, that's an academic hospital or whatever, they may offer a 457 plan. Some of the advantages are you can actually contribute to a 457 up to the limit each year. And the limit, by the way, as of the recording of this episode, is about $19,500. You can do catch up. If you're over age 50, you can put in an extra $6,500. The last 3 years before you retire, you can put in double the amount that you could put in normally. So you can put in a lot of money into it. It's a deferred compensation plan. So it's not really your money until you receive it. It belongs to your employer, which may help you if you get sued, because the 457 monies that haven't been paid to you are not subject to the claims of your creditors. But it means if the employer got into trouble, their creditors could grab that money, but it's probably unlikely a government would get into trouble, or is it? I don't like to trust my money with the government, but that's me personally. Now, the beauty of a 457 plan to most people is you can put money into it on top of these other plans, and if you leave your employer, you can access the money without a 10% penalty, even under the age of 59 and a half. You can't do that with a 403b or a 401k. So, what are the advantages? At 457, I can put in up to the allowable amount, I can play catch up, and then when I go to access the money, I can do it without a 10% penalty as long as I leave the employer. Well, often I ask this question, what if the rules for a 457 plan allowed you to put in whatever you want? There was no limit. If you wanted to put in 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, you could. You don't have to. If you could put in 100,000, you only put in 30,000, you could play catch up with the other 70,000 anytime you want in the future. And in a year you didn't put in the maximum amount, you can add all that up and throw it in one fell swoop somewhere down the road if you had a windfall. And what if you could take out the money without leaving your employer in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and there's no 10% penalty. You don't have to wait to leave your employer to access it, and it's tax-free when you access it. So it's like a Roth 457. Yes, there are Roth 457 plans. So what is this? Now, before I go any further, if this is intriguing you, I would recommend you share this video with somebody who maybe is a firefighter, a police officer, a teacher that has a 457 plan, or they're wondering, should I participate or contribute to a 457 deferred compensation plan? Well, I'm going to show you something that I think is far better with way more flexibility than a 457 plan. So what I was asking is, what if you had a 457 plan where you could put in as much as you wanted. You designed it to accommodate even 100,000, 300,000 a year. You don't have to put that much in. But if you don't put in that much, you can make up the difference. You can play catch up whenever you want. Sort of the advantage of a 457 plan, but you can access your money without leaving your employer, and there's no 10% penalty, and it's totally tax-free. So it's like a Roth. People say, well, what is this? Well, it doesn't have the strings attached is what I'm talking about. Share this video with somebody you know that would like to learn this. And by the way, click on here and subscribe, click the bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a new video, because I post an in-depth answer to a financial question almost on a daily basis on this channel. But stay with me to the end. I want to gift you a copy of my most recent 300-page best-selling book, okay? So let me talk about this incredible dream solution plan that you ought to have instead of a 457. This is an instrument that I have used since 1980. It's like a sacred tax-free cash cow in the Internal Revenue Code. It's called an MFTA, Maximum Funded Tax Advantaged Indexed Universal Life Insurance Contract. Now, before you go, what? I've never heard of this. I've never seen one that grows very well. Well, then you haven't seen the thousands of ones that our clients own where they earn average rates of return between 7 to 10% net cash on cash tax free for the last 30, 35, 40 years. The last few years, we've had many clients who have locked in gains of 16%, 25%, 30%, 61.33%. How? This is a beautiful dream solution, like a Swiss Army knife that you can use for all kinds of financial goals. And it is the best solution, I feel, for retirement savings because it allows you to accumulate your money totally tax-free. That has been grandfathered in the Internal Revenue Code for over 107 years, Section 72E. Section 7702 of the Internal Revenue Code allows you to access your money totally tax-free. This would be just like a Roth. You pay tax on your contributions, but it accumulates tax-free and you can access the money tax-free. Those are the two benefits of a Roth. But this has 4 additional benefits the Roths will never have. I can put in 100,000, 300,000. You're limited on how much you can contribute to a traditional 457 or a Roth type of a 457. With the laser fund, that's what I call it. LASER is an acronym that stands for Liquid Asset Safely Earning Returns. I can contribute in a banner year 300,000 if I want, if I design it to accommodate it. I don't have to put in that much. I could put in 1/10 that, 30,000. But I can play catch up with all of the difference anywhere down the road. You can play catch up with a 457, but there's limits. But the neat thing about it is, if I want to access money anytime, for any reason, I don't have to prove a hardship. People say, well, I can access money out of a 457 plan if I'm really sick or disabled or I have a death in the family or whatever. If you have a hardship type of provision, you don't need to prove that to access money out of a laser fund. You can access money. I've had people put in 200,000 and 4 days later access 160,000 of it. There's no IRS penalty. You can take the money out. It's tax-free. I've had people retire at age 35, 40, 55. They can access the money or they can just let it sit there and compound tax deferred until they go to retire, take out the money, and it's totally tax-free. There's none of these strings attached like waiting until age 59 and a half or until you leave your employer. At the end of the day, none of us are getting out of here alive. We're going to all die someday, right? The laser fund blossoms. Let me explain that. I'm 69. If I died next week in an accident, every million I would have in my portfolio of laser funds would blossom to about 2.5 million and transfer totally income tax free to my wife, my kids, my grandkids, a church, a charity. There's not a 401k, 403b, or 457 around that will do that. And people say, well, how much does that cost? Well, nothing's free, but it doesn't cost me anything. It's being paid for with a minuscule portion of money that most people shell out in unnecessary income tax on traditional 457s, 403bs, and 401ks. Do you want to learn more about this amazing instrument, what I call the dream solution, not only for retirement, for many financial goals, and where I have averaged 11.17% return for the last 30 years, netting over 10% cash on cash? You ready? So I've been calling this the Laser Fund. In fact, I wrote a book about it, and I've been sending out between 250 to 750 of these a week. I want you to claim your free copy. This is 300 pages. It's actually 2 books in one, and it's titled The Laser Fund. Now, LASER is an acronym that stands for Liquid Assets, Safely Earning Returns. The subtitle is How to Diversify and Create the Foundation for a Tax-Free Retirement. And so these are the 4 pillars here: liquidity, safety, rate of return, and tax benefits. These knock the socks off of traditional 401ks, 457s, 403bs, or even the Roths. I have a little disclosure to make here. I've never owned an IRA or 401k. I never will. I've never owned a Roth IRA, 401k, 403b, or 457. I haven't qualified for those ever, but if I would have qualified, I would not have participated. Why would I do that when I can have all the benefits of a 457 and a whole bunch more by putting money into a laser fund? And as I indicated, this is where I've been able to accumulate my money at rates of return conservatively between 7 to 10% net cash on cash. Every $1 million saved in a laser fund can predictably generate usually $80,000 up to $100,000 a year, an 8 to a 10% payout without depleting principal, as long as you live, if you live to be 120. Have you ever seen a 457 that can do that? So I want you to claim your free copy of this book. Now, it's 2 books in one. This side, the white side, is 200 pages, 14 chapters with all the charts and graphs and explanations, and you'll understand why this is better. If you learn more by stories and examples, you flip the book over. This is 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62 chicken soup for the financial soul stories in there of how this is used for all kinds of financial goals, especially retirement. So you can read the stories in here. If you want to use both your right brain and left brain, you can read both books, okay? So here's how you claim your free copy. If you will go to laserfund.com, click on the link below, contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that cost. I'll fire out a free copy to you of this 300-page book, and there's options there if you like to listen and learn, watch and learn, and also you can attend some of our educational webinars. But I recommend you subscribe to this channel because I post in-depth answers to financial questions almost on a daily basis, and it's free. So make sure you claim your free copy of the Laser Fund, and you'll understand why this is far superior to a 457 plan, in my opinion.